I just analyzed every little detail I could find in the recently announced Pokemon Legends ZA. Z-A? ZA? ZA? I guess I'll stick with Z or ZA. Anyways, I think I got a pretty good understanding of how this game will play, and in order to get there, we'll have to answer some pretty important questions. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, it's important to understand what time period this game will be based in. It's caused quite a bit of confusion because of the digital realm the trailer shows, but I think it tells a very different story than what most people think. First, let's look at the facts. Number one, the trailer starts off using an 1800 style paper to reveal some information to us. And I mean, I'm throwing out a random year here, but it definitely seems relatively modern and old at the same time. I mean, it has a stamp, which was only invented in the 1800s, and I think that timeline lines up with Legends Arceus's too, so I think it makes sense. And I'll get into more speculation about what implications this has in a moment. But moving on to number two, it also says Lumiose City is under redevelopment and urbanization, meaning there is modern technology here, but probably still in its infant stage. And hey, when did the industrialization period happen? What a coincidence. Number three, it says it's becoming a place where both people and Pokemon can live in harmony together. And given that in modern day, they do, I think, they are outright stating that we are not yet in the present time frame. So it seems obvious that Legend ZA will take place in the past. But what should we make out of the Cyberlight trailer? Well, given that it kept on switching between the old and future, I think it either means we are playing exclusively in the past and the future is actually modern day, as the goal of sorts shown as a blueprint, or perhaps we'll be able to switch through the timelines, and that'd be the explanation for some of the time travel shenanigans that may or may not happen, but I'll hold my breath on that one. The digitalness also reminds me of the Holocaster, and I'm interested to see if that will play into things at all. I mean, we got a phone last game. A digital realm isn't yet out of the picture. The logos for the game may also be telling us some things too. Pokemon is faded red, perhaps referring to a faded past? Okay, that's a bit silly. What about Z-A? Z referring to endings and A referring to beginnings. Since there's a dash in between, it means we are going from endings to beginnings. Now this will probably have many implications in the game to come, but staying on topic, I can think of a few potential meanings it has. First, is it being literal? We are quite literally going from Z, the end, aka X and Y, to A, the beginnings, aka Legend ZA. Another explanation is we are going from the end of the Kalos War, being Z, to urbanization, A. The issue with this theory though is that the Kalos War probably happened a lot earlier than this urbanization, given it taking place in a seemingly 1800s-esque timeline. But perhaps the Pokemon timeline scrunches those two times together, while to modern day took a lot longer. I don't know. Also looking at the logo, you can see the Z having a more digital effect, granted it being Zygarde's motif, and the A looking pretty leafy, hinting at a potential past and future theme going on, like in Scarlet and Violet. Needless to say, I'm excited to see some Mega Evolutions from the past. Moving on to how the game will function. Let's look at catching for a moment. Legends improved the catching system by a lot. Like a lot. And this trainer catching wild Pokemon by the water seems like that mechanic will continue, which is nice. But what if they also improve battling to be also a bit more free? Well, given Sylveon and Aegislash's clash in the middle of the city, it may perhaps hint at a more interactable and quick battling system, however that may take shape. Now here's the one thing that I haven't been able to decipher, so I hope you guys can help me out here. But here are a lot of unfamiliar landmarks shown in the trailer, even in what I presume to be modern day. So perhaps that means it's the future, or they just filled it with random stuff. But I'd like to hear your take on it. Maybe we just cut the actual map revealed to us, or perhaps it's a filler map. It's also interesting that the game apparently takes place exclusively within Lumiose City, so there's bound to be an either huge map with a lot of depth or several layers to it. I also imagine that there will be a lot of nature, since using the term urbanization tells us that it's still in its early stages of being a proper city. So I'm excited to see how they go about the region itself. The logos shown in the trailer are also suspicious, and have this kind of cosmic feeling to them. They're probably going to have a big part of the story given their presence in the trailer. But there's something I still haven't touched on. The trailer actually says urban redevelopment plan, meaning they are redeveloping Lumiose City, which potentially means one of two things. Number one, they're simply urbanizing an already made city, or number two, it was already urban, and after some disaster, they are rebuilding. You could look at that as meaning it's in the future, but again, Pokemon likely wants to keep the Legends brand in the past, so perhaps it's actually referring to the Kalos War destroying Lumiose, and how it's under redevelopment, whether that means it's just a few years after, or maybe after a few thousand years. We also learned from the war that Pokemon and people did not live in harmony at the time, so now they are in the process of getting to the modern harmony we know today. Also, since it's called Lumiose City, I doubt that this unknown hint refers to the region. Perhaps it refers to the team that holds this logo. Also, this looks like a person, but it's colored in like a Pokemon. In any case, this is all really exciting, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of my theory and how you think this game will play. And please let me know if there's anything that I'd missed that you had noticed. And if you'd like, watch my reaction to the trailer because I really had no idea what's going on. Definitely don't think they're doing a new Callus game, right? Thank you guys so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye!